Wired access.
We'll do it live.
Wired access.
Do it live.
Wired access.
We'll do it live.
Wired access.
Welcome to another edition of Hurrdat Sports production of Wired Access Podcast. I'm your host, DJ K-Dub Omaha. Remember, there are still tickets available for those electrifying games of the professional volleyball Omaha Supernovas, as they are just doing nothing but bringing the heat every time. Tomorrow night, get your tickets for Omaha Supernovas at omahasupernovas.com as they take on the Columbus Fury down at the CHI Center at 7 p.m. Once again, tomorrow, Thursday night, check them out, 7 p.m. Omaha Supernovas. That is where the excitement is here in Omaha. Today, I have on the guest is from Bellevue West, Jacob Arop. Jacob, welcome to the show, Mr. Senior, Mr. Champion, Mr. Going to football.
Yeah.
So, man, so my history goes far back with you, but more of your family. And I don't even know, do you even know where I started with your family at all?
So I asked McCoy yesterday. So I asked him, because he sent me a screenshot of something, and I was like, how do you know about that? And then he said that you were his coach for football, and I didn't know that until yesterday. So
that's what I like about this is, so I coached at Omaha South. Your brother came along with Noah, Monte, Jalen, and the crew, and it just reminds me of like what you currently have done. Now, your brother, a geek, followed in his footsteps and went to Omaha South.
Yeah.
And of course, everybody just expects, okay, well, that's where Jacob's going to go. So when you think of the history of the ropes in the Omaha area at the beginning, and of course, you got a call that went to Central or Creighton Prep.
Yeah.
What does it mean to be a part of that history? I mean, you got both of your older brothers that have won championships just like yourself, McCoy and a geek. What does that mean to you first to start off with them two?
Kind of just building up a legacy that I can continue of what they started, and to see that like I have accomplished what they've started and kept it going. Like it's big.
Do you even remember going to any of their games or?
I do. I mean, I remember the state tournaments when I was younger. I remember some of the home games that they had, some of the away games that they had. I was like 5th grade at the time, 4th grade.
Yeah.
So it's foggy, but I remember some games.
So when you think of like even just seeing that part of it, what was like your biggest thing that you might remember from it? The atmosphere, because Junior, my son Kendall Wickwire, he was around those boys because I was coaching and he was always on the sideline and they were always awesome to him. And was that the same feeling you got when you were around him with basketball with all the guys?
I mean, yeah, just I don't know. Thinking back that far, I couldn't remember.
It's okay. It's all right. That's what we try to see. I'm trying to see how far you remember back. Now, you come up to a call. He goes to Creighton Prep.
Yeah.
Do you know why he went to Creighton Prep?
Yeah. I guess we all like grew up going to a Catholic school.
Yeah.
And Call kind of wanted us to continue going to a Catholic school. Man of his faith, like all of us are. So he wanted to do that, and then my parents seen like what kind of school prep was, what they offered, what opportunities he would have just school wise academics, and they kind of wanted me to go there at a time point, but COVID happened. A lot of things happened. Just
what do you remember kind of even about your choices from middle school to high school? What do you remember you were able to maybe give a little input, maybe have to kind of sit back and let your parents decide a little bit?
It was hard. Just I wanted to go to I wanted to go to prep. I wanted to go to South. I had other coaches or just friends of mine just wanted me to go to their school, just check it out. But at the end of the day, I chose Omaha South for my freshman year, and it kind of wasn't the year I had it or one planned. So,
did you play football through them at Omaha South?
No, they canceled that season because of COVID.
So you lost football, so that changes the mentality.
Yeah, Honestly, football didn't start till like junior year for me. Like I hadn't played football. The last time I played football besides junior year was like Pee Wee, and I was playing with junior Cougars.
And
That
so
was
you're
like
playing with Gross Catholic,
yeah,
right? The junior Cougars.
yeah.
And of course, they have came up
Mhm.
since then. I mean, their Class B was in the championship the
Yeah.
past 2 years. I mean, that's huge for them. You see how you got into football. What took you away from it for that short time? Was it the
I mean,
love of it? Was it the knowledge
it
of it?
was my parents.
Your parents?
Yeah, they didn't want me playing football. It's just kind of dangerous sport. When I was playing at the time, I ended up getting hurt. I hurt my knee, and like I couldn't play the rest of the year, so I had to turn everything in. And then I tried to go back, and they didn't want me going back.
So hurting your knee.
It
What
was
a-
it wasn't even it was a basketball injury that I had. Yeah, it happened at school. We was playing in the gym, and I popped my knee. I did something to it, and it was messed
See,
up.
and you bring this up because it's funny to me because I'm sitting here going, dude, McCord ran wild. I mean, wild on the football field.
Yeah.
You pull up any tape of your brother McCord.
I seen him when he was playing safety. I remember I was going through his highlights from football, and you guys were playing Omaha North, and like he just took off running like it was brutal. It was a brutal hit. If he'll know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
It was brutal.
And his mentality didn't change. He didn't care how many times he got tackled. He didn't care how many times he got knocked down. He was the quarterback for Omaha South. I mean, they set a lot of records with that crew.
Yeah, a lot of
Obviously,
records.
Noah Fant's in the NFL. Monte played years, for college. Your brother went on to a family,
Yeah.
And those are like the decisions like people don't understand is like they had all this fun, kind of like your crew now. And that's the only reason I even bring up this older crew is because you see these generations or these groups of kids who they stick together, they get a couple championships in basketball. They go play in Vegas and represent the city before it's like Twitter representing the city that everybody's throwing out there, right?
Yeah.
Like they're out there competing in basketball at all high levels. And then COVID happens, right?
Yeah.
And it slows down. And then all of a sudden, AAU just starts taking a rocket.
Yeah.
And 7-on-7 takes a rocket. Now, of course, you play lineman for football.
But I did play I played 7-on-7.
Tight end?
Like, yeah, I was.
Yes.
7th and 8th grade, I was playing tight end.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And that's just it. Is there's so much options out there to go. How do I stick or how do I find my love and still be able to enjoy? Because some coaches don't want you to play those multiple sports because they want to save you for basketball or save you for football. What was that process like for even yourself going from, okay, I got multiple sports, but now it's all basketball, but I've hurt myself in basketball. Like, how did you even go through some of that process in your freshman year, your sophomore year of just finding Mr. Jacob Arop?
So freshman year, it was, I mean, even if I tried to go out for football, like I couldn't because of just they canceled it.
OPS.
Yeah.
Ruined.
Was over. Yeah.
No, there's no, like, dead serious. The routine of sports keeps teens and adults out of trouble.
Yeah.
Because you're on a regular schedule. You know what you got to do. I got to wake up for school, go to school right after school. I'm right to practice. After practice, I got to try to find something to eat.
Yeah.
Then I got to go try to do homework if you do the right thing, right?
Yeah.
Try to stay out of trouble. But if not, other things try to find you. What did you spare your time with when it came to the COVID time and it came to your freshman year? What did you try to find and cope with during that time?
I mean, what most kids were doing, playing video games, honestly. Couldn't go out. So
Yeah.
You're just at home eating. Be honest, yeah. But like when things started like to relax, I guess, that's when they started. That's when McCour actually, I was playing with his team. I was playing up in the 15U. We started having tournaments and games, practices. So it was kind of that late June, July area. So that was.
So you get back in the gym, you get back to the AAU. Now, obviously, you're going up against some top quality competition.
Yeah.
How does this rail you to decide where you want to go to school after Omaha South? Because in everybody else's eyes, Oh, another rope at Omaha South. It's gonna be
Yeah,
it's gonna be flowers and top of the line. Everything's gonna be great.
yeah, that's what I thought. But
But when it's not, it's okay,
Yeah.
right? Because this is Jacob a rope's journey,
Yeah.
and your other brothers just led the way to show you how they can do it, but you can find your own way.
I kind of just thought just going on my South, I'd be, sunshine and rainbows. And then, because when I made the decision to go there, it was before COVID and before everything happened. And it wasn't like that. It was the opposite. It was dark clouds and just trying to do good
Do you
in
think
school.
the expectation was higher than you could handle at the time?
Yeah. Me 14 at the time, freshman year, it just wasn't it. I guess I just wasn't ready. Um,
Because I mean, with your brother, a geek, it's got to be hard to know that he had an offer to Nebraska so early in his
Yes.
career
yeah. It's kind of
that was taken away from him, obviously, just over an injury, and
Yeah.
now that blessing doesn't matter because that dude went to not one, not two, not three, but all 4 NCAA tournaments and was in the championship his senior year. I'll take that over playing at Nebraska. Nothing against the Nebraska ball,
Yeah.
but I will take that opportunity.
Yeah.
And now look at him. He brings Jaw there, right? Jaw's there now with him as he's doing the player. What is your brother doing? He's doing
He's director of player development.
director of player development. That option wouldn't have been at Nebraska. They've been through 2 coaches. That opportunity couldn't have fell for your family to make it where you're like, okay, the journey is okay to not go directly a straight line and be what we think it's going to be. And as a family, what do you remember even from that decision of when your brother was at the highest of the high, he gets injured, and all of a sudden they pull his scholarship? What do you remember of that part? Because obviously these are things for yourself you've got to put in, I call receipts, right? These are receipts for your brother.
Yeah.
Injury, receipt. I got to either overcome it or let it bring me down. Loss of a scholarship. Let it overcome or let it bring me down. And then to where he ended up.
It wasn't easy at all. I know that. I mean, at the time, I didn't know what was going on. I thought he just decided he didn't want to go there no more. Just because of, I think no, it wasn't the time yet where they were almost gonna fire Tim Miles yet.
Yeah. Well, you knew it was all over the talk, so it was like the noise is there, right?
Yeah. But they didn't think I knew they didn't think he was ready yet. Kind of just from high school and straight into college, and I don't know. They wanted him to go prep. He didn't want to go prep at the time, so he kind of just.
Can you explain what is go prep? Obviously, we just had Bynum decide he was going prep. So what all does that mean to the average listener? And the only reason I ask is because some parents think that their line is high school,
college,
straight to D1. I got to get to D1.
No.
But what they don't understand is sometimes there's steps in between that can help.
Yeah.
There's steps in between that could take you a whole different route to get you more prepared for where you're at. Yeah. What is the prep route?
So prep school is like, there's prep schools all over. There's none here. I know that. But
no.
Yeah. There's prep schools all over. Agwik decided to go to the one in Atlanta, Georgia, called TSF, the Skill Factory. It's basically you go there and you're training a lot more basketball wise, and just getting ready during the off season, and then into season you're playing a national schedule where you're playing in Florida one week and then maybe Alabama the next, who knows. So,
and that's hard for families. I mean, it isn't like you can go travel all the time and watch him.
We never went to one of his games.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was playing all over the places. I mean, that was around 2017 maybe when he started that. Yeah, but I remember seeing him just being on social media, or my brother's just showing me like he was getting offers while at the prep school. So I knew that was big, and then he got the SDSU one, San Diego State.
The Aztecs, man.
Yeah.
Gosh. Just watching you guys at the championship game, what do you even remember of that part of
From
it?
last year?
From last year. For your brother.
Oh, I remember. I went to Oh, the only game I missed was the second round game. But other
Yeah.
than that, I was at every game. It was fun. Like, I mean, the greatest time that like we all had as a family, just being at the games, and it was just so fun. Like,
People don't like a lot of people don't understand the embracing culture that happens
yeah,
with this whole thing because of course your family comes from Sudan and you come up here
uh-huh.
and you guys make it to where family is anybody that wants to be a part of the Arop family. I'm dead serious. Like, if you want to be in the right way, you want to come hang out. Like, McCord is always open arms,
Yeah,
always,
always.
always respectful. One of my favorite athletes I ever coached.
Yeah.
Always a smile on your guys' face. Always looking at trying to find the positives. At no time have I really heard any of you guys, and of course, I'm not in the locker rooms. I'm not in like with obviously you, but I'm not hearing them complain. I'm hearing them try to find solutions to be that difference. You go to these NCAA matches where you guys are just making a name, Omaha for Aztecs,
Yeah.
and everybody's starting to embrace it. What's that like as a family? You said some of the funnest times.
Uh, I mean, most of the like the things where we're not complaining is because like of our parents. Like growing up, they've been through like the worst things ever. My mom and dad both just trying to get to America, trying to find a new life. Um, so just seeing that, and then they always end up having a smile on their face somehow in some way is kind of what like I took out of my siblings' book and my parents. Something that I can cherish forever. No matter the circumstances, whatever happens, happens. Um, but you live and you can always come out smiling.
Now, I want to tell you where I go to church, and I know church doesn't get talked a lot,
Yeah.
right? But where I go to church, we have a Sudanese
Mhm.
that comes and does church until 2 a.m. on a Saturday night, whatever, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, man, this is how hard it hits me in the right way. The ladies came and sang on a Sunday
Yeah.
for us. There is not a single soul in this earth that can match that energy. Ever.
I don't know what it. I remember because growing up, we used to go to this church called St. Patrick's. Ugh, it's kind of near downtown. I can't really explain.
Okay.
But growing up, I remember like all the Sudanese family. We just always be down there. Just probably there till 10 to 1 or whatever. And just
Yeah, it's not your normal AM or nothing. The boys are okay to be up late. Don't be asking them to get up early on Sunday, but they'll be up.
But yeah, I just remember going to church every Sunday. We always had to dress up nice in a suit or just something you had to wear. And then I don't know, got to spend time with your family after, talking with other families. And then most of the kids that went to this church, we all went to school together. So it's kind of, we'd seen them 24/7. Just,
You kind of stick close.
yeah.
Now, in our time with your brother, we had a player named Bull. Okay, he was a lineman.
Mhm.
This is another side of the Sudanese that some people have no idea. His senior year, and he was a lineman like yourself. Good legs, good movement. You want him on the pull. When he's pulling, he's dropping someone. But his brothers gave him an ultimatum in his senior year. You either come to school and play football or you join our gang. But if you stay at school, you're not going to like it from us. Has there ever been pressure for you on that negative side of it?
No.
Or has your parents kept you?
My parents and my brothers always kept me, and just other people around. Just just knew right from wrong. Just staying out of gang wasn't not me.
Exactly.
Not that type of person.
But it happens, and people don't
Yeah.
understand. You could be one day, all of a sudden, you're straight arrow.
Yeah.
But the fact of how people can threaten one thing, where your family is always top of your mind, they're number one,
Yeah.
and you'll do anything for them. And that's what I love about your guys' culture, your family, and I learned so much because I don't know. Do you know a guy named Toot?
Too.
Yeah, Toot. He's a pastor. Toot. That's his name, man. And he really brings the energy there, man. And it's just the way the vibes that I get, and it's like it's hard to explain.
Yeah.
Like because like you said, he talks about right from wrong. He talks about keeping the right things, and then so you go to all these things to keep you on the right track. What leads you to the Bellevue West over anywhere? I mean, you could have went anywhere and played. You could play with any of the boys that you play with, and that's just it. You play the AAU, you're playing with kids from all over.
Yeah. What drew me to Bellevue West was, I mean, I knew the team that they had from last year because the year before they were in the state championship. And then the weapons that they had, bringing back. Bellevue West never, I don't know, they never rebuild. They're always reloading. So I wanted to be a part of that. Also, just the school wise, it was a smaller school compared to Omaha South. Omaha South had like 3,000 kids, and yeah, OPS is OPS is filled. Compared to 1,000 kids that Bellevue West had. So
what's your teacher interactions like? Different than the OPS?
Way different, super different.
Do you feel like an individual or a number?
No, we at OPS.
No, at Bellevue West. When you went to Bellevue West, what did you feel more like an individual? Like they knew you?
Like I feel like I've known these teachers for forever. Like it's so crazy. Like I can go to any one of any teachers that I had in the past, like from my junior year or even sophomore year. I can just go in, talk to them, say what's up, which I still do. Like even just through the halls or when I'm out of class in lunch, I'll just pop in and say what's up. Because I mean that's just kind of the bond and the connection that we've grown over time, and just
Bellevue West. Who's your first connection?
Like
who's your first connection? Who's the one that says this is where you need to be? Who's the one that you first gravitated to?
It was never kind of like that. I knew Bellevue West was like the closest school to my house, like
Yeah.
one of between Omaha South and Bellevue West, and comparing and contrasting the two schools. I mean, I kind of just chose Bellevue West.
There was no one that talked to you at all.
mean,
Like when you first got there, who was your first?
I mean,
go-to?
I've like Eldon I played with forever since I was young. Jaden too. Played against him a lot. Never with, honestly. But Jaden, I had Steven. Who else? There was just a lot of people that I just automatically knew. Josiah. And I was either playing with these guys or against these guys. So I mean, I automatically had a kind of like a bond with these guys, and I already knew like their mindset.
Because your junior or sophomore year, was Chucky and them still there?
No, they were there.
They were there. They were gone.
Yeah.
So you see what they planted, right?
Yeah.
You see the culture they planted. You see they use the big, which a lot of people don't. What does that mean to you when you see teams, and even in your choices? Like, this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing them use a 5 that can also go out and shoot or be a pick and pop.
The mindset of Bellevue West is always sharing the ball. It's never like a give it to one guy, clear out.
Yeah.
We can use anybody. If Jaden isn't having his day, okay, let's see what Steven got. Eldon isn't having his day. Let's see what Jaden has. Or it's someone's always going to be prepared every game that we have. If someone isn't, someone's always going to step up.
So you play sophomore year. Did you play football that year?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Sophomore year was my first year. I wanted to, but I kind of knew I couldn't, because just it was only my first year. I wanted to get basketball down right. Making sure, just because at that time basketball was still my first mindset. Like I want to go play D1 basketball somewhere.
Gotcha.
So I was just working out basketball the whole time.
Because your middle two brothers didn't play football. Only McCord, right?
Yeah, McCord was the only one who played football.
Yeah, so it isn't like football was like big in the family.
It isn't. My parents, to this day, they don't really like
he's
football.
Still in the record books, but whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, to this day, they don't really like football. But it is what I kind of grown it on them. Just showing them like kind of the opportunities that I had, and like when I was first getting my scholarships, I mean they were kind of understanding. Only like I was explaining it in like basketball terms to them, but yeah.
Junior year, you start football. What do you remember of your first time in high school football? You haven't played since Pee Wee.
No.
What was that first summer like?
So first, okay, so I couldn't do when the season was officially started. I couldn't start yet because I had a appendicitis.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that kept me out basically all of June. Honestly, I remember I missed one of our biggest AAU tournaments because of that. That kind of took a setback. Um, till I think it was after like the first 2 days that we had official practice, and then I think that third day where I was only helmet only and everybody else was shoulder pad. So it was like I was just missing out on opportunities.
Missing out on reps.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than when you got one of your guys that you're like looking to count on, and that whatever happens, life happens, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're like, everybody's in pads. He's in a helmet.
Yeah.
So you get to that first practice, you get going. Summers, were they harder than you thought they would be?
It was hot. I wasn't used to the heat yet because just I'm inside all
Because
the
it's not
time.
a cold gym.
You're playing outside. It was hot during the summer. I remember that, but I just kind of just taking in everything that I'm learning because it's all new, it's all foreign to me. Someone who hasn't played.
Who's
high
the
school
coach that
football.
takes you under the wing for football?
Coach P and Coach Huffman. I'll be in the hallways. They always tell me just always they're always like, better see you on first day
Holding
of
you
practice.
accountable,
Yeah,
telling you they better see you there.
yeah. They're always they always tell me that I was gonna get a Division I scholarship one day from playing football if if I just kept going at it. And that's what I did. First year, football wise, I don't know. I was kind of lost, honestly. I mean, it wasn't the greatest year I had. It was all foreign, but I was playing. I was starting, and then I kind of got hurt during the time. I had a bulging disc in my back that kept me sidelined for a while. But
What do you remember of that moment? Because you're not only, like you said, basketball minded. That's your role. But you're getting hurt at something that you're trying to prove
yeah,
that I can do it. What do you remember as your lowest point of that? But what turned you around to go, okay, no, I got this.
just PT at our school. I mean, I think our trainers are the best in the state. Um, they're always getting after you, just telling me make sure you're stretching, make sure you're doing your workouts before you go out, how you're feeling, just things like that, and then checking in on you, like how you feeling mentally wise, and just,
That right there is stuff that you can't just pay someone to
no,
do.
no, they go above and beyond their job every day. It's so crazy on what they do every day.
And then you slowly probably gain a trust in them because, like you said,
Right.
you're still learning so much.
Yeah.
It isn't like your parents know what that feels like or what that instance is. So they're probably telling you, listen to what they're telling you. They're going to get you right.
Yeah.
You get healthy. What does it mean to get back into the sports after getting healthy?
So it took a while, honestly. I didn't play or practice till that maybe our third game in. Whenever we played, I remember the first game back. It was against Lincoln North Star last year. Um, that was my first game back, and they're already 3 games in or so, and it was just that whole week of practice was kind of hard, just getting my body function right, kind of because PT and like basketball, it kind of you're not in shape really
Yeah.
from just doing your PT workouts or running on the treadmill. What I was doing.
So what you're making sure people understand, there's a difference between football ready, basketball ready,
There's a big
and
difference.
PT ready, right?
Yeah.
PT's just getting you so you got motion to the
Yeah.
ocean. You know what I'm saying? You got motion back.
Yeah, yeah.
Basketball is up,
You're
down,
and
up, down.
yeah, side to side, just
But none of that is up and lifting and
Yeah.
trying to.
and then along with the 5-second break that you have,
Yeah.
So
So you get out to the first game, North Star. What is that? What is the app like? What's your self feeling knowing that you're at Class A football and you're starting for one of the highest production offenses in the
So,
state?
I didn't get to play the rest of my junior year for football. I was done. Yeah, I was
What?
yeah, I was out. My first game back was basketball.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
How many games did you get in at football then?
5
5.
games.
So what do you remember of game 1? What do you remember even from
My
that
first
first
game,
step?
we had a week 0 game.
Yeah.
Against Prep.
Ooh, not even an
It
easy
was
one.
no, they were huge. They had
When a big guy calls someone else huge,
Well, it's because-
you
well-
know the feeling is real.
yeah,
You get that intimidation. You get that thought in your mind.
they were
Can I compete with this guy right here?
it was different. It was, but my first football game was I was just listening to Coach B and listening to what my teammates were telling me. Just move your feet, keep moving your feet. Just think about it playing defense, like basketball. Just think about like how you're playing defense, moving your feet, violent hands is what Coach B says. So that's kind of what my first game of football was like. It was foreign. It was weird.
I mean,
Just
don't get
thinking
me
back to
wrong.
it.
You guys got some easy games, but you guys play some of the top dogs. Before that junior year's over for you, you had Prep. Who else do you
We had
remember for
Prep,
that?
Omaha North.
Another big dog.
We had West Side that year.
Because if I'm thinking right, you had good old Tyson Terry across the way. Go ahead, speak on it.
He's good. He's
Is
a
he
really
real
good
deal?
Oh, he's the real deal. He's really good. I'll tell you that. But
Game recognized game, right?
no, he's really good.
It's not just the titles. He does work.
Yeah, he does.
To get there. So you got Omaha North, another big dog.
Thinking back to that schedule. Who else did we play that year?
And if not, no worries.
Yeah, the top teams I remember were Omaha North, Prep, and Westside that year.
Oh,
So
West Side.
we had Westside that year too.
Give that atmosphere of your junior year compared to your senior year around West Side. What do you think was like?
So that game? So I had broke my hand also too.
Another injury from football.
So yeah, if you see old pictures that I like, I'm tagged in from last year. I have like a big club on. And I didn't get to practice that week because of my hand. I was trying. I had to get a club, and I shot out that game because I didn't really know the scout for what we were gonna do. So Coach P kept me sidelined for that game. But just watching that game, I mean, we were in it. It was a dogfight, and then I don't know, just Westside kind of took off in that third quarter, and just it wasn't.
You're going through these injuries, 2 back-to-back, hand, back.
Yeah.
Parents' thoughts.
What are you doing? You're getting hurt. Why are you still playing? That's what they're.
This isn't making sense.
Yeah, it's not what I envisioned, nor. Yeah, it was just.
And knowing them, I mean, they've just watched 3 of their sons get to college.
Yeah. They think I'm gonna.
And they're thinking he's coming. He's got the right mind, but he's trying a different route. All right, get to your junior year of basketball. What do you remember that championship year?
That team was, man, we were loaded that year. I mean, just any given night. I mean, someone could have the worst night. Someone was always that's just anybody was on that team was just always ready, and everybody was just playing hard. Just if we were up by 10, 2 minutes later we up by 30 or 20 or something. It was just all gas, no breaks every day. Even everybody just going at it in practice, going at it all the times. Just
so we had Wooder on the show after he retired. We had him on the show last year in season 1.
okay.
What was his last season like? Did you? Because here's the thing that I loved about it. No one knew as far as we know on the outside. Did you have a feeling of it?
So it was being talked about. Like we never said it out loud or in the open. But like a few of us just talked about it. Like we were like, "Do you guys really think it's gonna happen?" But we were like, "I don't know." We kind of just had that doubt, like he wasn't. But I mean, he told us after the game in the championship game against Miller North. That's when he told us he was going to retire. So, but I mean, during practices, he was there, but Coach Klein was the one kind of running things during practice.
You could see things were slowly changing without full bore, or because he's not about him.
Mm-mm.
At no time has Coach Woodard been like, "Give me the mic, let me be." He's the one. He's the one like the Homer Simpson meme where he's like in the bushes hiding.
Yeah.
He's hiding.
Coach Woodard,
But he's such a great, humble man.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
he's
is.
back to coaching second graders.
yeah. I was like, you left us to coach them, coach. I was like, come on, come on.
So last year, championship.
Yeah.
Talk about some of those feelings. Was there ever a downside for you besides having a late start for yourself in the year in basketball? Was there any time that you really had to maybe do a reset?
Yeah, definitely. So my sophomore year, so I had the 90-day rule, but when I got to play my first game, I was starting, and I started all through the rest of that year. So when I went into football, and when that was over, whatever, coming back from the injury from my back, into basketball, I initially thought when I was back, I'd get my starting job back, but that's not what happened.
Say that louder for those in the back.
I didn't
think one thing,
yeah, it was the
but
total
reality's opposite.
Yeah, I didn't get that starting job at all that whole year. But it was like I was just thinking like, oh, why doesn't he want to play me? But I just knew I couldn't think like that.
But who's talking with you through this? Because most of the time, you feel you could do it alone and you could talk through it alone. But was there anybody there that would help talk you through those moments to understand that your time's coming? Keep working. Or was that just the mentality of?
It's just the mindset that I knew all my brothers had. Like Aguak, he had his injury with his knee. He always kept going, kept getting after it, always in the gym. Just being consistent with it. Me, I knew just okay, if I'm not gonna start, what else can I do? No, basketball isn't always about scoring. It's just someone has to do the dirty work at times. And if that it's doing what you want to do to put your team in the best position to win, and that's what I did. Every day that year, every day I practice.
Man, like if there's a book you can write of unselfish things, it takes a true person to understand how important these sayings are. I'm not there for that position, but don't worry, I'm going to find a way to help this team win. How about the atmosphere of even just the team? How do they, I mean, because you got your teammates you started with.
Yeah.
How do they feel about it? And is it a matter of keep your head up? We got you. We got you.
I mean, just being surrounded by them, it was like, even if I wasn't starting, I was still getting a lot of reps in practice. Like I'd be in a starting group at times, or
because who started last year? Was it Robbie?
It was Robbie.
Dude, until I got to finally see him in person play, man, he just has this quiet, witty way to find the ball.
Always. Robbie's he's a hard worker. Like, honestly.
He's grinding the whole time.
Yeah.
The ball's in the air, he's finding the position. He ain't just waiting to go jump for it.
Yeah, he's one of the underrated bigs in the state. He's always working.
But those are the people that you're side by side with, and you're seeing how hard that goes. So it makes probably pushes you to be better than who
just
you were.
Always going harder in practice, honestly, just pushing each other. It's not him, but everybody else in the room, honestly.
Recruiting junior year. Any?
Football?
Either.
Okay. So I had going into my junior year, had one offer. It was from Morningside. It was for basketball. Morningside's a great school, but just not something I was thinking of. But it is what it is. It's just that's just it's an offer. You still get an opportunity to play somewhere. Just knowing someone somewhere wants you. So but really after that it wasn't nothing. Football was the insane one, because after I played the first game, week 0 against Prep, my coach texted me later that morning that Kansas had texted or called him about me, which was I just thought, what the? It's like it's Kansas.
You're all right, man. Yeah, I mean, those are eye-opening situations that make you go, okay. So this leads back for us, for the ones that are on the outside looking in, going, that would put a spark in that fire to
Yeah.
make it burn. You hear
Yeah.
from Kansas, or Coach did, you get a little good feels from that. Any official offers your junior year?
Not. It was the next semester in February where I got my first offer from UNI, and that was I was unexpected because I was sitting in class. I was sitting in class, and Coach Huffman came to me. He was like, "Has UNI called you yet?" I was like, "No." He was like, "All right." Coach said he's supposed to call you sometime soon. It's like, "All right." Um,
Are you like me when you see a number you don't know? Do you let it go to voicemail? Be honest.
sometimes it just sometimes I just don't answer it. But since he told me I was supposed to get a call
You're
from
like,
someone,
I better answer.
I was like,
immediately.
yeah, so I got to answer this one. So I answered it. Um, went into the hallway. This time I was in math class. Went into the hallway and he talked to me for a bit, and then he finally told me that I got my first offer, and it was an eye opener. Just
Okay.
like wow.
You take.
And
Did you? So when you get the Kansas talk to, did you take that back home to mom and dad?
No.
Okay, because it was just a talking,
Yeah,
right? It wasn't
was-
like official. You go home with this UNI. What's that like?
The minute I got off the phone, I called McCoy actually. The minute I got off the phone, because I mean he's the only one that knows stuff about football. So I called him. I was like, "Yo, I just got this UNI offer." I was like, "I'm gonna post it sometime soon," but I was just telling him, like, he was like, "Congrats, just keep working hard, keep going." But I kind of just it flipped my mindset from basketball to football. After that first offer and seeing the potential that I had. And then just into that.
What was your parents' reactions though? Like understanding just the fact that there was opportunity, because of course at first, if you're getting injured, you're playing a sport they don't know a lot about.
Yeah.
Their expectation is not for you to be hurt. Well, how does that conversation even go? Do you remember telling them about UNI after McCoy?
I think I told him when I got home later that day. I was like, I got a football offer from UNI, and they were like, "Where?" They just asked,
Yeah.
where that is. Told them it was Northern Iowa. So they're giving me a scholarship. Just breaking it down what it is. They're like, "Congrats!" It's not the reaction that like some other parents would give.
Yeah.
It's just different.
No, but
culture-wise.
that's the realness that I like to bring out. You know what I'm saying? Like I love bringing out how it really goes in a culture or in just an experience.
Yeah.
Because everybody else is like, "Oh, my parents were la 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 la." Your parents are like, "Who's next?" Right? You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah,
got to be
like-
your feeling. Like, all right, I got a nice offer here, but
Yeah.
I guess I better go find out who's next.
The
First basketball offer, who was it?
Morningside.
After that Morningside, anybody who
It
was
was
next?
UNI.
UNI.
First basketball offer. First offer was Morningside for basketball. My second
Yeah.
offer was football, and it was from UNI.
And then next basketball.
I didn't get another basketball. Morningside was my only offer.
So
for
even
basketball.
through your AAU,
Yeah.
no one just got the potential.
I get I get text messages from coach. It was pretty much it. I went to a few basketball camps, nothing major. That kind of just flipped my mindset, seeing kind of just comparing the two. If one side was just kind of just slowly going down and down,
Yeah.
and one side was just going up and up.
Did that help your parents understand anything?
I just kept telling them, I was like, if I want to go to school somewhere for free, just paid for, football was my better option, and I guess they kind of starting to understand. And I just started doing workouts during the off season and stuff.
You got with Bober.
I did.
I interviewed Bober. I worked with him. He's an ex Omaha South
Yeah. Yeah,
alumni,
he is.
ex NFL player, ex everything. What was that like?
I took a lot, just knowing what type of player he was. He showed me some film. Um, just going through his account, seeing what he teaches. He used to he posted stuff on on YouTube, like what they did or what he was teaching, and just watching those. Um,
8 years in the NFL.
yeah, and then you see why.
Yeah, like he wasn't the tallest guy. He wasn't the biggest guy. He just knew how to use the tools he had.
Yeah.
So you get to your senior year, football kind of is iffy, right? As far as you got a bunch of people hurt.
I'm trying to. So
I mean, you got a lot of the people that you guys count on is what I mean when I say a bunch of people hurt, right? Like
yeah.
I think maybe you guys got 2 games in with everybody intact. If you were lucky.
Kinda, because Zay was still hurt with the hamstring.
Yeah.
So we never really had a healthy, strong team at one point. Kind of just if someone was coming back from injury, someone was going out. It was just kind of sucked.
What do you remember best of your senior year for football?
My summer workouts off season was, I was going with Bover every week, doing something. I was doing something football wise, just preparing me for the season always. And then my first game was insane. I was all over the place that game. Just finally seeing that what I was doing in the off season translated into
the season.
Yeah. The amount of hard work that I had that just
Now I'm going to ask you because this is a side I've never really asked a kid. Critics, they're all out there. Keyboard warriors.
I see it all the time.
You see where, and I don't know if you saw where I was about calling out because we don't give the rankings.
Yeah.
The people that give the rankings, that's who you need to talk to. You don't give yourself a ranking.
Yeah.
You just do the work. When you see that kind of stuff go on, does it make you want to work harder or does it sometimes pull you back?
It never pulls me. It never like gets in my way because I know it's some old dude who's just on the computer. Like it doesn't bother me. Like I don't get bothered by what other people say. Kind of just I know who I am. I know what I can do. I don't control rankings. I just play.
You just play.
I just play.
That's exactly what I said. I've said, how do you call out someone that? And I think my thing goes all the way back to when Noah chose Iowa.
Yeah.
And all Nebraska hated him or they wanted to brag on him.
Yeah.
I'm like, these kids are making lifetime decisions that have nothing to do with you on that other side.
Yeah.
The ranking that they get decided, they didn't go, you know what? Make me a 5-star. Put that down on paper.
So when I got rated the 4-star, that was unexpected.
Someone recognized your work.
I woke up like from a Coach P texted me like 7:30 in the morning. Like I had school the next, and he showed me the screenshot, and I was like, "What the?" And I even checked myself to see if it was real, but I mean, I didn't. It was big. It was great, and I was really grateful for that. But it just wasn't.
You're not doing it for a star.
Nah.
You're not doing it for a ranking.
School.
It's just, you know your mission.
Yeah.
So you get through obviously your senior year of football. West Side wins it all. But the funny thing is when people start, like there was even people trying to call out who's better and they're like teammates this next year. And I'm like, you guys are idiots on this social media, man. You got to back up a little and let these kids breathe and understand they're going to be teammates.
Yeah. I don't get it.
When did you get that South Dakota offer? And what do you remember about it?
It was November when I got it.
So after the season, you're already starting your hoops. You're thinking, oh yeah, basketball. Here we go.
But it was just over time the bond that I had with the coaches. Honestly, they brought me up for game day visit against Murray State, and just I got there a little earlier. Just to, like we got to tour weight room, basketball gym, going into the
is that an opportunity? You think?
It's
Multiple kids are playing multiple sports now. It's starting to become bigger in college.
Yeah.
Is that an opportunity? Is that something you would want to go
for
do?
basketball?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
You've been playing basketball all your life.
I
Be
know.
honest with yourself.
I would if I was given the opportunity, I would do it. Like if
Okay.
I was able to do both. But they kind of fall into the same season because basketball season starts in October for college.
Yeah.
And their
It's
first
not
game-
as easy as basketball or football and track.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as transition.
Yeah.
But there's a possibility. You never know. Never say never, right?
My options are open.
That's right.
Um,
Championship basketball. What did that mean to leave that legacy and leave Bellevue West right where they were when you got there?
2-time state champ.
2-time.
Yeah. I was just happy to get one for Coach Klein. He works hard. Just the past 3 years, like he's worked hard. And he deserved to get that head coaching job. I always think he's the one who's always gonna get on you, and then build you up from that. What can you do? You're not scoring. Okay, what else can you do? Play defense, get the steal, get a rebound, do something. He's just, I don't know.
Well, just know that you were a key to the cog. You were a meaning on a mission to help your team in any way.
Yeah.
There was not one time that Mr. Arop stepped on that court and it was not team. That legacy that you guys left, where it was not a selfish game, is unmatchable.
Yeah.
And Millard North now has to suffer after 2 times. But what we're gonna get to is that wired in segment. We got 3 questions that my host out there, my producer Brandon, is gonna ask you. So we're gonna let you answer it. Brandon, go ahead and hit up one of those wired questions.
All right. So the first one is from a Twitter follower. Upon entering high school, basketball appeared to be the sport of choice. As someone from a basketball family, what does your family think about this change?
They see it as an opportunity. Basketball just, I don't know. It just runs through. I don't know. Can you ask that question again?
Yeah. Upon entering high school, basketball appeared to be the sport of choice for college. As someone from a basketball family, what does your family think about this change from basketball to football at a collegiate level?
I don't really know how to answer that one.
I think you got it though. You hit up on the collegiate part of the opportunity.
It's different. They never really watched college football. It's just always been basketball, really, just growing up.
So they won't know what the Saturdays are like. You think they'll come up, right?
Oh yeah, they will. I gotta visit up there in 2 weeks or so. So
Awesome.
I'll take them up there and
show them what it's about.
Yeah.
All right, go with the next one, Brandon.
Who inspired you as a young athlete?
My brothers. Watching them, seeing how hard they worked every day. I just knew if I wanted to play at a collegiate level or in college at all, I knew it was going to be hard. Days you don't want to do it. Just always being in the gym or on the field, and then also being in school and doing your homework.
And then the last one is, how do you balance like sports and then, in personal life?
Ooh, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
Balance. What is your balance like? Have you found it? Is it something you can do?
Depends on the basketball. So knowing basketball, I know I'm always gonna be busy. So I'm not gonna I don't do a lot during basketball season. It's school, practice, wake up, film, school, practice, and then depending Saturdays we usually have games. But after Saturday games, I'll go hang out with my teammates. That's kind of what it was all season. So
how about for football?
Football was practice the whole week, play Friday night, hang out with teammates that night, and then Saturday I'm gone for like an unofficial visit for game days. So I mean,
Do you think those hangouts with the teams probably kept you guys where you
for
guys are
sure,
at?
definitely. We always mess around with each other, so it was just I don't know. We were just always with each other, just doing something, always building a bond, no matter what. Even if we were just at home, if we're playing the game, it's with them.
Yeah.
It's really just doesn't change much or anything.
Well, I appreciate those who sent in the questions for the Wired In segment. I appreciate Jacob Arop making the time before he heads up to South Dakota. Go Yotes. Go Yotes. And once again, I appreciate you listening to another episode of Wired Access Podcast, a Hurrdat Sports production, and we'll catch you next week. Once again, remember, Omaha Supernovas. Get a ticket at omahasupernovas.com. Game tomorrow night, CHI Center. See you there.